All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video, we'll be solving quadratic as well as linear equations to graph them. Okay, so when it comes to your linear equation, this is mostly a straight line. Okay, so say for example, you have a slope in the line, y equals mx plus b is your equation. Okay, and your slope, let's say, is a certain number. Okay, let's say 2 or 4. Okay, so this is what the line will look like when it comes to y equals mx plus b. Okay, this is your linear equation. Okay, however, if you need to solve a quadratic equation, okay, the quadratic equation that we will be working with today, this will be relevant to a parabola. Okay, and this is what a parabola looks like. Okay, mostly U-shaped. Okay, so as you can see, it starts in one quadrant and ends in the other. Okay, now let's take an example. Okay, so let's say for our linear equation, x plus 2y equals 6. Okay, now what we need to do over here is turn this equation into a format where we can get our slope and y-intercept. Okay, so let's say this will be 2y equals 6 minus x, as x goes on the other side. Okay, and y equals 6 minus x divided by 2. Okay, which basically means, therefore, your y will be 3 minus x over 2. Okay, so this is how you solve this equation, okay, to get your y equals mx plus b over here. Okay, so this will be your slope. Okay, so negative x over 2. This will be your slope. Okay, and positive 3 will be your y-intercept. So you can rewrite this equation over here. So this will be negative x over 2, okay, plus 3. All right, so y equals mx plus b. This is y equals mx plus b. All right, now to graph this equation, to graph linear equations, what you'll need to do is sub in the x value to get your y values. Okay, so let's say you start off with -1. Okay, so let's say y equals -1 over 2 plus 3. Okay, so this means that this will be, okay, 1/2. Okay, this will be 1/2 plus 3. All right, okay, so y, this will be 2. 2 goes into 2 ones. 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 1 goes into 2 twice. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so this will be 7 over 2. Okay, so for x equals -1, your y will be 7 over 2. Okay, so this is how this works. All right, so we can graph this linear equation using your graphing calculator. Okay, so let's say you have x, okay, plus 2y equals 6. Okay, so notice this is a straight line. Okay, and you can figure out, okay, what your y coordinate is for the equation that we just solved. Okay, so let's say this is, okay, 7 over 2, okay, for -1. Okay, let's go to -1 over here. Okay, and this is roughly 3.5. Okay, so 3.5, as you can see, -1 is 3.5. Now, if you divide 7, okay, 7 divided by 2, this will be 3.5. So this is how you verify or double check. All right. So this is basically your linear equation. You can sub in the values for x to get the rest of the y coordinates for you to graph this equation. Okay. Now, when it comes to your quadratic equation, when it comes to your parabola, okay, so let's say this is y equals 4x squared. Okay, this is the equation for your parabola. And again, the parabola will be a U shape, okay, on your quadrants. Okay, so starting in one quadrant, ending in the other. Okay, so y equals 4x squared. So let's say we sub in the values. Let's say 4, -1 squared. So y equals -1 into 1 is 1. Okay, so this will be 4. Okay, if you want to get value for x equals 2, okay, this will be 4 into 2 square equals 2 square, which is 4, times 4 is 16. Okay, so for x equals -1, so -1 over here, okay, it will be 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 somewhere over here. Okay, so 4, and then you have y equals 2. So let's say 1 and 2, it will be 16. Okay, so let's say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way till 16, where this merges over here, your x and y coordinates. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph our parabola. Okay, to graph the parabola, we'll need to change this to our graphing calculator, and we'll type in y equals 4x squared. Okay, so y equals 4, okay, x squared. All right, so notice we have our parabola over here, starting with one quadrant, ending in the other. Okay, now if you want to verify the values, okay, we'll go back over here and check your x and y coordinates. So let's say -1 is 4. Okay, so -1. Okay, -1 is 4. Okay, and then for 2, you have 16. Okay, so let's say 2. Okay, roughly 16. There you go. So 2, your y coordinate is 16. Okay, so this is basically how you solve your linear equations, and this is how you graph them, as well as how you solve and graph your quadratic equations. Okay, so apart from that, this is Obey on behalf of B Electronics. Have yourself a great day.